and welcome to Game Domain, and for this video I'll be talking about my opinions of EA's press conference at EA 2017, and there weren't too many things that interested me like the sports games, and I do like some sports games. I got MLB The Show 17 recently. I think I've played it over 10 hours, maybe even over 15 hours. It's a very good game. Um, but what interested me the most was a game called A Way Out, which is a game where you play as two prisoners or escaped prisoners. And what's interesting is that it's a split screen game no matter what. If you're playing online, it's split screen. And also you can play, there's finally another game, a story. This game seems to be story driven, where you can play um, couch co-op, which is pretty much a no traditional games these days, except really um, sports games, and Nintendo is doing a lot of that. Like those are Nintendo really makes the only traditional um, local co-op or local multiplayer games, because non-traditional games are like I don't really know what you consider that, but games like sports games where it's obviously going to be multiplayer, and even games like Halo, there's no split screen, and the game seems very interesting, and I don't think it's going to be that repetitive. True, it might not be the best game of all time because EA has had some games that maybe aren't the best. Um, and lived up to high expectations, but it doesn't look repetitive at all. It seems like there's going to be a lot of things you can do. I can't really name a lot of games recently that are non-Nintendo and non-sports that aren't um, local multiplayer. Garden Warfare 2 was one that was also made by EA. But the point is, this looks like a very interesting game, and it's very interesting that it will be local multiplayer. Anyway, the next game I wanted to talk about, which is really the only other game I'm really interested in, is a game called Anthem, and we really have no information about it yet, but the reason I'm interested in it is because it's developed by BioWare. It's probably very early in development, at least that's my guess, since Andromeda was just released. And I have really nothing else to say about it because we don't really know that much about the game, but it does look interesting, and it's made by BioWare. So unless it ends up like Andromeda, it should be a very good game. Anyway, before I get to the other games I'm kind of interested in, Battlefront 2, and the new Need for Speed, I'm going to talk about the sports games just to get it over with. So first, FIFA. I don't play soccer at all. I don't follow soccer. I'm not a fan of soccer at all, or football if you're not from the US. And the other games, Madden and NBA. Madden looks interesting because it has a story mode. And I think it's interesting when sports games have story modes, like in MLB The Show. There's kind of a documentary mode called Road to the Show, where you play as your own character, and there's interviews and stuff like that. Or I shouldn't say interviews, but you get drafted. Your manager might have to chat with you about stuff if you make errors. And it's not really a story mode, but it is very interesting. And I've played probably like 5 or 6 hours of it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get Madden NFL 18, but there's definitely a good chance I will, just not on launch. I usually do not spend $60 for sports games. MLB The Show was a different case because I don't have another MLB The Show game since I just got a PS4 last year. And baseball is easily my favorite sport. And also, it just has so much content. Like, that is really a $60 game. It has a lot more content than a lot of games, and it's a sports game. So that really tells you that a lot of games don't have that much content anymore. The last game I wanted to talk about that's sports related is the new NBA game, NBA 2K18, and I probably will get it since it's on the Switch. If it was only on Xbox, PS4, and PC, I probably wouldn't get it, but I'll probably wait until it drops to $30. And I don't really follow basketball that much. I occasionally play basketball, so I don't know, I might get it. If I had NBA 17, I might not get it. I don't have it though, so who knows? If it gets good reviews, it has a lot of content, I'll probably spend maybe $40 to get it, maybe. That's if it has a lot of content and it's not dumbed down on the Switch. The second to last game I'm going to talk about is Need for Speed Payback, which looks like a very interesting game, or at least very interesting for a Need for Speed game because it takes place in a very different setting. Looks like it's going to have a lot of action scenes and a decent story. I'm not usually into a lot of racing games. I like Mario Kart. I got Fast RMX on my Switch. That's a very good game. It's a futuristic racer, so it's a different type of game. But I'm only playing like 3 racing games within the past few years, I think. And they're all very different games. I've been playing Forza Horizon 3, which is an open world, realistic racer. Mario Kart, I don't even need to explain what Mario Kart is. And Fast RMX is a futuristic racer like F-Zero or Wipeout. And I might get Wipeout Omega Collection. And Need for Speed, I'm not going to spend $60 on it. I don't spend $60 on most games, but I might get it for 30. I'm assuming that it's going to release and then have a small sale, probably like a $10 sale. I'll probably wait until next year to get it. I think it's releasing this year. I could be wrong. So I don't really have that much to say about Need for Speed either, except that it does look interesting if you're a Need for Speed fan and you haven't heard about the announcement. This is definitely worth keeping your eye on. And the last game is Star Wars Battlefront 2. The original Star Wars Battlefront is a game I do not own, and it is very light on content, especially if you don't have the DLC. Now you can buy the Ultimate Edition for $20. That's how late it is on DLC. Also, it is a 3-year-old game, but I think it was $20 like fairly early because of how late it was on content. And it is going to have a story mode. That's good that it's going to have that. And I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I wouldn't be playing it for the Star Wars lore. If I were to get Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I might, not on launch though, I'd probably just get it for the multiplayer and maybe play the story because I would have no idea what's going on. My prediction for Star Wars Battlefront 2 is that it will go on sale on Black Friday, but only for maybe $20, maybe $20. That's a rough estimate if it even will have a Black Friday sale. And the last thing I want to talk about, which is not a game, is the new Battlefield 1 DLC in the name of the Tsar, or Tsar, however you want to pronounce it. I don't think I'm going to get this because I'm not really into DLC for games, especially FPS games, because I just like to play the multiplayer for a lot of it. And even if it adds some new modes, I haven't been playing Battlefield 1 that much anyway. It came with my Xbox One S. I got the 1 TB military green Xbox One S, and I gotta say it is a very good game. I played it a lot. I just haven't been playing it recently, and I think DLC is really expensive, and I'd rather get a new game. I'm not saying DLC is bad as long as you're getting a lot of content. I just don't really like to buy that much DLC. And if you do like this, it does look interesting. If they lower the price enough, then maybe I'll get it. So that's really everything I wanted to talk about. Overall, I'd say E3 had an okay press conference. Definitely wasn't great because they only announced a couple games, and some of the games that they really fully revealed were just sports games. The big announcements were A Way Out, Need for Speed. They already announced that, but we got some more information, and Anthem by BioWare. There wasn't really that much else because I think we actually did hear about the Battlefield 1 DLC. So anyway, let me know your thoughts about Battlefield, I'm sorry, EA's press conference in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.